Thursday up at the track. Opportunity for all the fans, particularly those that weren't able to go to Wolverhampton for the final. Second leg, an opportunity to see the riders. I know that Jason's not going to be there because he's in Australia, but a chance for everyone else to see the trophy and to enjoy themselves, basically.
Yeah, no, that's what it's about. We got an opportunity to bring the trophy back, parade it round to our supporters. I mean, I've got to say, apart from the odd few meetings this year, we've been, the fans have been massively supportive this year and really got behind the team. But it does help if you're winning, I guess.
Yeah. And detail-wise, I think the gates open on Thursday from 6:30.
I think 6:15 they open, and we'll go in. I think it starts around about 7ish, 6:45, something like that.
Fantastic. Looking forward to it very much. Now, I touched on this just earlier. For me, observing you and seeing how you've been over the meetings and seeing you on TV as well, some of the away meetings as well, it's been very noticeable. A lot of comments been made how this year you've stayed really calm, because in the past you do like to get a little bit animated and give your thoughts out in the pit sometimes. One or two people not keen on what you're saying, but I've got to commend you the way you've been so assured and relaxed more in the pits. Is there a reason behind this? Have you been getting extra tips from somebody, or just later on in life you've realised some things aren't worth getting fussed up about?
No, I still got the passion. I still get very vocal, but I've got a good friend of mine at Swindon Town Football Club, Chris Neville, who's their fitness coach. And he helps me. He's helped me with Team GB this year, and I don't know what it is. Whilst he's around, he seems to have a very calming influence on me, and I don't know why. Just since he's been around, I've just seemed to have changed. But Chris is a very calm man himself. I spoke to the gaffer, David Flitclough, and he said that Nevs is a real calming influence at the town. So I think he's been good for me.
And do you think because of that you've been able to make certain decisions that you perhaps might not have done previously because you were a little bit too emotionally wound up in things? Possibly,
yeah. I guess so, but I had it in my head that I was going to try and stay a bit more focused and a bit more calm. Certainly wouldn't lose the passion, but stay a little bit more focused and calm, really.
Now, you mentioned about your GB team manager role that you also carry out, as well as the Swindon Robins manager's role as well. You got into the World Cup final this year, didn't quite work out, but looking back now, your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, everybody, again, they seemed everything I seem to do, everybody seems to write us off or write me off. So it's quite nice that everybody said Australia were going to cruise through. I know they never had Jason Doyle, but they still had quality riders who, in other people's eyes, still felt there was more than enough to win the meeting. But it didn't happen. The boys raised their game, wasn't to be. When we got to Poland, we got found out on a track. I think Stevie Worrell was about the only one that really come to the party, really. We were found out, we were lacking speed, really.
Now, in a few weeks' time, cross fingers, touch wood and all that, hopefully, Jason Doyle is going to be crowned the world champion. And what a year it's been for Jason, your captain at the Robins. And we mentioned about his injury. To see him struggling around the pits on his crutches and yet getting on a bike. Some people say you've got to be mad to be a speedway rider. I think he epitomised that at times. But if he does win the World Championship, then I don't think it can go to a more deserving guy, can it?
No, not really. I mean, from what he's gone through, his sheer will and determination's been phenomenal. And for him to carry on going what he's doing, it could have been quite easy to sit it out. But that's not Jason. He wants to ride his bike, and the more he rides his bike, the better he is. So, yeah, no, he's had a phenomenal year, and it'll be very fitting that he lifts it in Australia, hopefully.
And a great role model to all the other riders as well that have been in the Robins team this year.
Yeah, no, he's been very good. He's certainly come of age, in my opinion, this year. I think a few years back, he was a little bit, sort of fiery. He's still fiery now, but he's a lot more calm and controlled now. But he's certainly come of age this year.
I know that Jason has voiced his view on race nights here in the UK and the the possibility of just having the 2 race nights, and I know that you've also been vocal and said things as well. Can you see that happening for next year, for example?
I think so. I think fixed race nights will be in. I think possibly a Monday and a Thursday will be the nights.
And do you think that's going to come up in the AGM, the end of season AGM?
Yeah, it will come up in November sometime when we get together and hopefully get that sorted.
Another thing that you've been a little bit vocal about this year as well, start lines and the referees and false starts and the inconsistencies of referees. Is that ever going to improve?
I think it's got to. I mean, the inconsistency. I think this double white line's been a bit of an issue. It's given the riders the situation to move forward and not touch the tapes. They've got to remove the white line and get the riders up to the tape. So if they do move, they touch the tapes and they're out. And there won't be none of this, we never touch the tapes, so we can't exclude him.
Yeah. Okay. The Sprockets run this year in the National Trophy under the guidance of Lee Kilby, who's done a brilliant job this year helping out with the club. Was it a success? Are we going to see more Sprockets, or are we going to park that one up for next year, do you think?
Unfortunately, I don't think we will see the Sprockets because, obviously we put them in there because people were moaning about the continuity and we had the gaps in meetings, so we put the Sprockets on. But unfortunately, people never come and supported it, and there's no point just chucking money down the drainers. It's a fantastic idea and all the will in the world. We all want it to work, but if we can't get the supporters in, then we ain't got a cat and mouse chance.
What is the latest with the stadium? We've now got a championship winning team, a fantastic table-topping team, and yet we've got a stadium that dates back to the 1930s, I think. You deserve a fantastic stadium. Are we ever going to see the stadium, Alan? What's the latest?
Well, you probably know more than I do, but I'm led to believe it's going to happen, but as and when... Who knows? We just wait for the day. We just start seeing the machines start moving in. Hopefully, now the playoffs are all finished. You may start seeing something, or we might be still in the old stadium next year. Yeah. So at the end of the day, let's just be thankful we've got a stadium, and until the builders move in, we'll stay where we are. Excuse me.
Are you going to give yourself a few weeks off now from Speedway and switch off? I know we've obviously got the great event coming up next Thursday night, but or have you already started to lay 1 or 2 plans for next season, speaking to riders, that sort of thing?
I've had a couple of riders on to me already, and I'll be looking at that, but nothing until we know which direction we're kind of looking at. There's no point even trying to get. It's okay saying I'll have you, and then just tell them you can't have them. It's just no good. We just have to see which direction we're going in first. And
see what's decided at the AGM regards numbers, for example.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Okay, and looking back now. Back to that night at Monmore Green a week or 2 ago, would you say that was your greatest moment in Speedway, or was it up there with your top 2, top 3? Because I know you achieved a great deal with Coventry Bees as well.
I know it always upsets people, but I always think that your first championship win is pretty special. I think getting the monkey off our back in 2012 is probably up there with that as well. This was mighty special because, again, we were written off and we lost the first leg and we weren't given a cat and mouse chance again. So, yeah, it's up there. But I think the 2012, 2010 are the ones that sort of stick out. But it was very special. I don't think you can... It's difficult to say. You're trying to say which one's best. To win a championship is phenomenal. So they're all special moments and they're all great feelings when it happens at the time. So so it's very difficult. But as I said, winning me first title, but I think also getting the monkey off the back since the last time we won it in '67. We've hit the bar so many times at Swindon, and I think 2012 was good, and probably even more so because it was Paul.
Yeah. And just last of all for me, Alan, is there one particular moment or one particular event during the season that really sticks in your mind? And I've seen a great photograph, for example, of you with the riders being covered in champagne up at Monmore Green the other day. Fantastic picture of you. To me, that's one of the key moments of the season. But for you, there might have been something small, something funny. Anything sticks in your mind?
I'm
sure there's plenty of them.
There's probably plenty. I mean, going on the 17 run, doing that. I think probably Heat 13 for me at Wolverhampton, when we could actually realise we had the chance of turning this all around, and actually at the time believed that we could win it.
Fantastic. Well, it's been great to talk to you, Alan. Appreciate your time. Again, many congratulations from us at Your Sport Swindon for the bringing this amazing trophy back to Swindon, and look forward to you retaining it next year.
Fingers crossed.